Howdy, everybody out there listening in. I can see listening to us. It's a weird way to start. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Wish We Were Then, the podcast that's been doomed to repeat history so you may learn from it. I am Trey. I'm here with Mark. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing really good. I am excited for this episode. It's weird to be so relatable, I guess, to an episode that all the ones we've done recently, it seems like we've gone further back in time.
Yeah, I feel like we've been doing a lot of far-reaching episodes recently, so this one's kind of different, definitely different than that. What do we do on the show here? Well, we're about to go back into a year in the past and tell you all of the fun stuff that occurred in that year. We are, we're at this point, really when we consider it, it's like we're a music history podcast as well as a movie review podcast and then like a general fun history podcast. Like three things in one. You're getting three shows.
Yeah. Well, and we talk about TV.
Yeah, that's true too.
And food reviews. We'll see what season 2 looks like.
Exactly. Yeah, we'll see if there even is one. All right. Well, so we tell you all about a year in the past. We're about to do that today. What's the year we're about to look at? Well, it's it's on the fuck, man. It's right on the tip of my tongue. I can't feel like this was it was recent. That's the thing. I'm just trying to remember. That's what the problem is here. I feel like we didn't even have to go back in time this week. I feel like we just had to remember things almost because it looked pretty fucking similar to today where we just went.
That's true.
This is the closest we've ever gone back in time to. We are about to talk about the year 2015. This is actually right outside of our scope now of what we had decided was, doable for us. We're like 10 years is fine. I think any newer than that's not really too nostalgic. And now we're in 2026, so we could even go a year newer than this.
Yeah. I was thinking about that today before we started recording. I was like, this isn't even our 10-year mark anymore.
No, yeah.
We've been doing this podcast for a while now.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, yeah, we're over half a year's worth of episodes deep.
Yeah.
Wow. Can you believe it? We're coming up on a year. That's when we'll see. We're going to change things around for season 2. It remains to be seen. Probably. We're not going to do the same movies. That's for damn sure. So we'll have to figure something else out. 2015, though. And this was a recent year. It's interesting to go back to a year that, like, not just, I mean, obviously it's the most recent year, so this is going to be the closest to how we are now, but we were fully grown adults at this point in our lives.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Much different thoughts than, when you look back and you go, oh yeah, how did I feel about this because I was in high school or whatever else. This is just like, well, we have a pretty solid perspective on all of these issues, I think, this week.
Yeah. Well, it was kind of just like jogging my memory, like, oh yeah, I forgot about that, or that happened this year. And I got two big ones and they're both very similar. 2 or 3 different like Islamic terrorist attacks happened in Paris, France. One on January 7th and then another one on February 3rd. The one on January 7th was a satiric magazine, Charlie Hebdo, where they came in with guns and murdered 11 people. And then for the next 48 hours, 6 more people were killed in attacks around Paris. And then November 13th, a series of Islamic terror attacks happened basically throughout Paris. Restaurants were attacked with suicide bombers. Stade de France and Saint Denis was an international soccer match where 3 suicide bombers struck. And then there was a Eagles of Death Metal concert where there was 1,500 people in the theater. People came in with guns and there was a standoff with police. 130 people were killed and 416 were injured. All 7 attackers were either killed or detonated themselves with suicide vests.
Damn. Yeah, weird that it's the Eagles of Death Metal concert. It's an interesting group to have taken this.
Well, to be honest, I don't know who that is. I just figured they were just...
I mean, I know one of their songs, I Want You So Hard, I Want You So Good. Have you heard that one? I don't remember. It was on a video game, I feel like, back in the day. I want you so hard, I want you so good. No, you do. Oh, yeah. Leave them alone, because the boy's no good.
No, I don't know. I don't think I've heard that song.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember where that song was on. Oh, well, I'll look it up later. Anyway.
I do recognize Wanna Be in LA.
Oh, I don't know if I know that one.
But
But yeah, so I
yes,
wonder if it's just because, well, I don't know. Is it that they were, I mean, they're an American group, I assume. So I wonder if that had something to do with it.
maybe.
Yeah, South Carolina. Yeah, anyway, I don't know. I wonder if that was something to do with it.
Yeah,
Because of
probably.
them being an American band had something to do with them targeting them. Yeah, I mean, this is pretty extensive attacks.
Yeah, all throughout Paris, which I thought was. I don't know why. I guess I didn't look into that, but maybe there was something going on there. I don't know, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't know why they chose Paris.
Yeah, I don't know. Then this was when the like Je suis Charlie thing was big, like that whole movement, that slogan. I am
Yes.
Charlie. Yeah, I guess it's something I didn't really keep that up with, to be honest with you. I mean, I honestly didn't even know how devastating all these attacks were. To be frank, I had heard the slogan. I knew some basics about everything that had gone on, but I just didn't look that deeply into it.
I think I mean at the time I heard about them, but I think when you're so far disconnected from it, it doesn't hit you as hard. It's just not. But it's still looking back on it, I felt worse than I think hearing about it when it happened.
Yeah, that's what's really shocking me is just how much it's like, man, this seems so much more of a huge deal, and that like, why did I just avoid hearing about this? What was I doing at the time that made me not pay attention to this movement?
Maybe it wasn't put out there for us to see. I don't know. But
I
it
don't know.
feels like I learned a lot more about this reading about it this time than I did actually living through it.
Yeah. Now, in terms of news stories that I did hear, and I think we all were pretty privy to this, like we did, this one was something that was circulated quite a bit, was in April, on the 24th. Bruce Jenner, at the time still, was interviewed by Diane Sawyer on 2020. This would be the final interview that Jenner would give as Bruce before transitioning into Caitlyn, which this was kind of dominating on the news cycle, I feel like, for the year. She would fully debut as Caitlyn in June. And yeah, I mean, this was, like I said, very dominating news stories throughout the year. Whether people agreed or disagreed with the whole decision, is everything was, she's the bravest woman this year, and she's the woman of the year. And people then arguing, can we call her the woman of the year? Both sides had
Yep.
things to say.
People still argue about it.
Yeah, I mean, that was really like the kind of start of a lot of the vitriol around all of the trans arguments between people,
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it's something that kind of, people had opinions about one way or the other, but it never really been something that was so huge news. I mean, this was the first, probably one of the first celebrities I can think of that fully transitioned in front
I
of
think
the
it's the
public
first
eye.
one I can think of, or the biggest one I can think of.
Yeah.
It has happened before, but Caitlyn was the most popular person to do it.
And also the discrepancy between the two, what's the word I was looking for? The perception of the two identities, to go from being an Olympian that's an athlete, a man's man and all that kind of stuff, to being a woman. That's also why it was kind of like people said, it really was a big, huge thing to, that's got to be difficult for Bruce Jenner to be like, I have to tell everyone I don't want to be called Bruce anymore, and I know that's people are gonna hate me. And then for people who have an issue with it, I could see how it's a hard pill to swallow, to be like, no, this was the guy I grew up idolizing. This was an Olympian.
Yeah, he's on my Wheaties box.
Yeah, exactly. On June 26th, the Supreme Court ruled 5-4 in favor of legalizing same-sex marriage nationwide.
Yep. You know who else did it too this year on January 1st was Vietnam.
Wow.
I know.
I
They did it before us. They're progressive as fuck.
Yeah, that's really, really impressive. I had no idea. Yeah, it's just shocking how late it take all this stuff to happen. So this 2015. Yeah, so people's interaction with LGBTQIA plus, all of those different types of folks. Those were still fraught with tension, and things were still changing and having to be moved around even in 2015. So, all right, this is a news story that I did not hear about when it occurred. This is one that I was researching and found this because I thought I want to find some kind of lighthearted news situation from this year. And on June 6th, Richard Matt and David Sweat, terrible names. Dick, Matt,
Matt
Dave
Sweat.
Dick, Matt, and Dave Sweat were discovered missing during a 5:17 a.m. bed check at the maximum security Clinton Correctional Facility. So these are two prisoners who have escaped. This is in Dannemora, New York. Both of these guys were serving life sentences for murder. They really weren't great guys. Their stories were especially one. I can't remember which one. One of them was kind of more of a dirtbag. He'd been murdering people for quite a while. So not good that these guys escaped. We'll say that. You're not rooting for him, I guess. Joyce Mitchell was a prison. She worked in the tailoring shop in the prison. She was an instructor. I guess that must have been one of the classes you could take there or whatever, at that prison, I suppose. She provided tools to them and helped them escape. Gene Palmer was a correctional officer who also helped them in exchange for paintings that were done by one of the two guys. I can't remember which one. I think it was Richard Matt. One of them was a great artist, I guess, apparently, and he was so good that he traded his paintings for help from a correctional officer to break him out of prison. How fucking good of an artist do you have to be to do that?
Damn, or just a smooth talker.
I guess, man, or the dumbest CEO in the world. I don't know, man.
All of those above the above.
It must have been all combined, man, because that's insane to trade your art for freedom from a guy whose job it is to keep you locked up. That's all he's there for.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that was really shocking to me. And this guy, I guess he's made money off his art. He's a sort of, not prolific, but he's he's an artist. Now these guys, they got all these tools. They also, I guess there were some contractors on site doing some work in the prison at some point during their escape attempts, and so they would also get their tools overnight, but then return them before the morning because they just left their tools in the boxes, I guess, and in this prison. Seems kind of dumb to me, but so I guess the Gene and Joyce were able to get the tools out and go give them to the guys and then put them back in the morning. And they dug out Shawshank style. They tunneled through the wall. They first went through the wall and then they found a pipe and then they tunneled into that and used that to get out. So it was literally like Shawshank.
Oh, shit.
On June 26th, so just about 3 weeks, they were missing. Got discovered missing on the 6th. On the 26th, Matt was killed in a police shootout. He was in the wilderness. The only bit of the story I could get was that he shot at the driver of a passing RV with a 20 gauge shotgun. I think just for fucking shits and giggles. I think he just was some guy was driving past him. He just had a 20 gauge and blasted at him for fun. And then the cops were alerted to his presence and then came out after him. And then he got in a gunfight. It was the dumbest, most needless way to die after escaping from prison. Yeah.
Stupid.
Sweat was shot by a cop who was going to question him. I think he just passed him on the street and then turned around and saw he realized the cop was coming to ask him. So he started to run off and the cop shot him and winged him, but he was captured. Joyce was sentenced for up to 7 years for her helping them out.
Damn.
Gene received only 6 months. So yeah, that guy must have not helped that much. So he got a painting out of it and only had to go to jail for 6 months. I think he was the clear winner here.
It's also a cop in jail, so I guess it could be good or bad. You could be taken care of, or the inmates can beat the shit out of you.
I mean, if you go back to that jail, yeah, they must have sent him somewhere else. Because even your fellow COs would have been traitor. Yeah. You know what I mean?
You go to a different jail, they're going to be you let someone escape? What the fuck?
Yeah. I wonder how seriously they take that. If they're this is our job, is to keep these people in here and correct them, or if they're hey man, I saw those paintings.
Those grapes were nice. I would have done it too.
Yeah. Man, I got this spot on my wall. I want to hang a Garfield. I'm hoping he gets sent here when he gets relocked up.
Was he the one that got shot and died, or was he the one that lived?
Ooh, that's a good question. Crap, I don't remember. I have to look this up now to know. Let's see. David Sweat. Richard Matt was the one who did the paintings. It's so funny. Richard Matt, he was the one who was killed. Oh, man. We lost a great artist. Oh, damn.
Hey, I
What a
bet you his
shame.
paintings are worth a lot more now.
That's you always are worth more when you've died. Shot in a in a gunfight.
Maybe the correctional officer was onto something.
All right, hold on a second. Now we're gonna look at some Richard Matt's artwork. Apparently, his deal is that he does
Realism.
like caricatures of celebrities.
Oh yeah, they look good though.
I
Did a
wonder
lot of
if
them too.
he like commissioned a specific thing. Oh, this is the one he gave to Gene. All right, we can see here. These are the paintings. Oh, okay.
Those are the paintings that he gave to.
Yes, these are the ones he gave to Gene Palmer.
Oh, I mean they're cool, but
I wouldn't fucking risk.
I wouldn't risk my job and freedom for them.
No, not at all. They're okay. That's some shit you find at the thrift store, to be honest. I mean,
Yeah,
I like his caricatures better than those, or his famous people. They're not caricatures. I keep saying caricatures. If you're not watching the video, they're not caricatures. I kept saying that over and over again. They're like realistic portraits of famous people.
yeah, they're like realism.
The
pictures
idea
of-
that somebody would trade like a caricature of a like Chuck Norris or some shit for his freedom.
That's fucking awesome. It's just so funny. Look at his stupid nose.
Yeah, you want to bust out of here? Okay, well, can you do Oprah Winfrey on a surfboard? Okay, let's move on now.
Okay. Let's move into the food section. I got some deals from the fast food companies that I found that were pretty interesting to me.
Okay.
But so two of them were from Pizza Hut. They had corn dog stuffed crust,
I saw that one.
or
Yeah.
with the pretzel or the original, and I was like, "Damn, I wish I never had them." I understand why I didn't want to try them, but now I wish I would have tried them.
Yeah, it seems really dumb, but I would try it, I guess.
I think just knowing that I can't have it is the only reason that I want it now.
Yeah, it's funny. It's one of those things where it's like, if you want to, you could always make a corn dog and eat it at the same time as your pizza, but it's like, no, it has to
Yeah.
be both together.
Yeah, it's got to be like on the end, and it's a crust. And
They
then,
also came out with a breadstick crust.
Oh,
I
they
saw that as
still
well.
have that, right?
I think so. Yeah, I think this is when they I don't know if they for sure do, but this is when they came out with they at least had it for a number of years.
Mhm.
And then that's like out of all the different types of crust, that's the one that makes the most sense,
Yeah, it's garlic bread, basically.
Yeah, exactly. Like just make your crust really dank, and then it's also like an extra treat at the end of your thing. You can charge
Yeah.
extra for it. Yeah, definitely do that.
Perfect. And then McDonald's debuts their all-day breakfast.
Yes, is that still a thing? I don't remember ever getting breakfast all day at McDonald's.
Oh, I did when it happened, when it came out. I for sure did.
I rarely get. I mean, it's one of those things that I think I always romanticize McDonald's breakfast, and then I get there and I'm like, what do I even like for their breakfast? Like
The McGriddles.
it must. It's all kind of dry. Exactly,
But they're
McGriddles, but
like-
those are like new.
But
But
yeah, they're like fucking $7 a pop now.
Jesus.
I don't know if they're that
No, but
much,
it's like I remember when
ridiculous.
McGriddles came out. So it's like, what did we all love about McDonald's breakfast before the McGriddle? Just I mean, I like the
Good
McMuffins,
old
but
English muffin and
yeah, they're kind of
sausage,
weird
egg, and
breakfast
cheese.
sandwiches. They don't really have like an extensive. Like Carl's Jr. has probably my favorite breakfast. With all the burritos,
Dude, their
and sandwiches
breakfast
and
burgers.
burgers.
their breakfast burger is where it's at for sure.
Yeah, they're probably my favorite. They also had tested sweet potato fries in Amarillo, Texas, this year.
McDonald's.
Yeah, but obviously didn't make it out of Amarillo. But that's a weird choice for McDonald's. I think McDonald's has over the years, they've kind of abandoned it a little bit now, but they used to toy with the idea of being like, we're going to be fucking high class now,
Yeah,
Like every once in a
Or,
while they pretend like
be
they're a
healthier
restaurant.
at least. They're like throw on salads on the menu or something.
Yeah, but I think like around 2010 is when they started to be like, here's the the artisan chicken sandwich, and like
Oh yeah,
like they had that one specifically. I remember was like this little chicken sandwich with like little, the bread had little like notches on the top of it to make it look like really fancy, like it had risen in the oven, kind of bread, little rolls, and like one piece of leaf lettuce on top and stuff like that. And it was very. They try to be, every once in a while they're like, try our chicken selects. Like they're
they'll
not
be
chicken tenders.
pretentious.
Yes, exactly. So I think sweet potato fries, they were like, huh? And then it's like, yeah, what? Try them in Amarillo, Texas. See how that goes. Why was that your
I
test market?
Yeah, it should have been like California or something. I don't really even like sweet potatoes.
Yeah, it could have been really a lot of places. It seems Texas is a place where people are going to be like, sweet potato fries, you know. Burger King, to not be outdone on the coming out with stuff this year. Actually, pretty heavy year. A lot of times we don't find a lot of stuff for fast food. There was a good amount this year. This I couldn't believe that this was as recent as it was, but the Burger King Black Burger was in 2015.
Yeah, for Halloween.
Yes. I thought that was older than that. I mean, it came out in Japan years prior, and maybe we had heard rumblings of it, but it made its way to here in 2015. It was A1 infused bun. I never tried it.
I never tried it either.
It looked
They
gross.
still have them. They still come out. Yeah, they still come out with them. Like they had one for Halloween, and they do it for they did it for the Spider-Man movie, and there were like red and black ones, and yeah, they've done a few different ones.
Yeah, they seem like
just seems like food dye that an unnecessary food dye that I don't want to eat.
Yeah, that was like the one thing I kind of read about a couple different times was a few of the news releases talking about how it turned people's poops green.
Yeah, believe that.
Yeah. I mean, that's how you get black is you just go super green.
Is it? I don't know.
I guess. And the last thing I got in the world of the food stuffs is the Taco Bell Cantina opened up for the first time. Mm-hmm. They had them in Chicago and San Francisco for the first locations, but they've since moved around.
I've never been to one, but they do have the Cantina menu option now. So they took some of the items that came out in the cantinas and then put them on the menu.
Yeah, so it's like fancier sort of restaurant food. And then they also serve alcohol at the physical locations.
Mm-hmm. There's one pretty sure there's one in Vegas now. It was like a big one in Vegas, actually.
I mean, that's funny. It seems like such a recipe for disaster. And it's funny, too, that it is the two restaurants that are synonymous with drinking, that Taco Bell and Denny's are the two places I've seen that are like, fuck it, there's a bar here now. You know? They're like concerned moms of teenage kids who are like, you know what? We know you're going to be here drunk anyway. We'd rather you drink here. So that way we know how much you've had to drink. And we can make sure you have a ride home, you know. Yeah. We don't want you driving your car here. We'll let you drive home, but you don't want you driving here all drunk.
All right, let's move on to the more technical aspects of our world. Actually, this is not in our world. This is very, very far away. On July 14th, the New Horizons space probe flew by Pluto, and it's the closest that anything has ever come to the planet, and we got pictures of it. First pictures began on April 29th, 2015. And then increasingly, they took more pictures as it got closer. The closest it got was 4,800 miles above Pluto's surface. And then I guess we reconsidered the way that we looked at Pluto's surface. There's a lot more activity. There's a lot more higher and low pressure systems. And there was maybe even physical water ocean underneath the ice.
Yeah, there's all sorts of people running around.
There was lights on the planet.
They heard music.
Airplane activity.
They were dodging airplanes as they flew by. But that's cool. I mean, Pluto, I think Pluto was my favorite planet when I was a kid.
And now it's not even that anymore.
Yeah. So it's nice to see it still getting some play, you know? They're still doing stuff with it. Because, I mean, you don't really hear that much about them flying past Saturn or whatever, but they went all the way to Pluto. That's cool, though. I mean, it's just a little ball of ice out there. We all love you, Pluto.
You're a planet in my heart.
Yeah.
Really.
Named after Mickey Mouse's dog.
Yes. I don't know. Only the facts here on which we were then.
Okie dokie. Let's see. More tech stuff. We got... Actually, this was pretty neat. On April 24th, this is another thing I didn't realize was this recent. I could have sworn we talked about this before, but I guess not. The Apple Watch debuted, the first iteration of it. I thought this was older than that for sure. Have we not talked about the Apple Watch? I swear we have.
I don't think we talked about the different Apple products. We've talked about the iPhone, iPod.
Yeah, I guess so. It's just, there's so much Apple stuff. I just feel because I just thought I remember having a conversation about being what's the point of it? Can you make phone call? You're talking into your watch. That seems kind of, you have to go back and forth to hear your call or what?
Maybe it was a 2014
maybe they
model release
something. Maybe I don't know. But either way, Apple Watches came out for real in 2015. They started at $349. They ranged from $350 about to $10,000. for the gold edition. It was like
Damn.
full on made of gold.
18
And
karat gold alloys. Damn.
yeah, and they I guess they're like obsolete. They became obsolete a couple years after.
I mean, at least I guess they still hold their value because they're gold.
Yeah, but like a
At least they're
gold
made.
piece of useless technology is like funny, you know? That like I guess if you wanted to strip it down and sell it for the gold, it's worth the weight of the gold it's in. But I don't know if it's $10,000 worth of gold.
Probably not, but at least, I mean, I don't know. These people spent, they said $550 for a stainless steel model is definitely way more affordable than $10,000. There's no way you're getting your $9,500 and something dollars back.
No, that sucks. I mean, like, although it's one of those things where there could just be this strange little bubble, this community of people who are like, oh, that's one of the original Apple Watches that came out in gold. I'll buy it, you know? I'll buy it for $20,000, you know, and then never use it and just look at it and just every once in a while be like,
just like in a display case and just be like, yes.
Yeah, I'm one of the suckers they made that for, you know? I spent way too much money on that. Damn, just like they wanted me to. I really love Apple.
They got me, Steve Jobs.
Another huge thing for 2015, again, another one that I'm like, man, this wasn't out earlier than this, is hoverboards really became big in 2015. This is like when they became huge in the United States. I think they might have been invented a year or two prior, but if you heard about a hoverboard, it was 2015 when you did, pretty much. One of the ones that's like the two wheels on the side that you just stand on.
Yeah, the one you like glide around on. Yeah, those are, I never was good at those. I can do them now, but when they came out, they were just like frustrating to me. I couldn't do them.
I've done them like once or twice. My wife is great at them. Megan is just
that's fun. That's awesome.
She's really good at them. It's like weird. Like she's so comfortable on it. She'll just get on it and just knows how to just zip around the room. She'll like go backwards and forwards. I was so nervous she was gonna fall down, but she was like dancing with her nieces and stuff like that on it. It was really impressive. And I got on it and was like, you know, it's like I used to skateboard. I don't know why I can't do this.
So on January 15th, the PlayStation Cloud launches for you to be able to stream games off of the cloud instead of buying physical copies. But now I feel like the PlayStation 5, there are models that don't even have the ability to put in discs.
Yeah, it's
so
like you have to pay extra for that now.
So yeah, and that was not even 10 years after this.
Yeah. So yeah, they kind of were like, this will work. You know, people are gonna do that.
Yeah, they're like physical media, no more. We like this.
But I was just reading this the other day that someone was saying, all the stuff you have to install off of the games anyway, you're putting a gigabyte worth of shit onto your hard drive whenever you put in the new Spider-Man game or what have you. Like you're just like the physical copy is just like a physical license to play this game. Because you're still downloading everything the same way you do if you buy it online, basically, you know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So it's like this is just like you physically holding it, but the game still exists on your hard drive the same way, either way, basically.
Yeah, it's true. If you have I have like an external hard drive. So if like now that this is like a thing, like now I can just keep games like I did before, but instead of having a stack of games, it's just in one hard drive on my like sitting next to my PlayStation. But some of the other games that came out for PlayStation and other things and such, there was a lot actually that came out this year, but these are some of the ones that I recognized and played. Fallout 4, The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, which was super popular.
I've never played any Witcher games, but
I wasn't the biggest fan of that. Maybe I would have different opinions going back to it, but
that was also one that in 2015 I was like, I've already missed the first two Witchers. I don't know if it really does matter because they've been coming out for forever, but like I don't think you probably don't need to have played the first two. But I was like, I'm not going to jump on that. Like, also, what am I going to bust out my PlayStation 2 to play these games? You know,
just to go back and redo the saga.
So I can't. So whenever that happens with video games, I'm like, I missed my chance, even though that's not how video games really work. But
no, they don't care. They're like, jump in, come on.
Yeah, I did that with God of War, and to be honest, it was a little frustrating at the beginning of it for him to be like, Kratos, it's you. And I'm like, who the fuck's that guy? You know?
Yeah. That one is more story driven, I think, than Witcher is. Batman Arkham Knight, Rise of the Tomb Raider, Black Ops 3, and Rainbow Six Siege.
Yeah, a couple of the ones that I saw, because I remember playing these specifically. I have very specific memories of playing them with you, was the Star Wars Battlefront and Mad Max. And so I
I
remember
didn't
those
realize
two.
Star Wars Battlefront came out this year. I don't know why I didn't see that.
Yeah, this was. I mean, this is the reboot or whatever of the franchise, but this is
Yeah.
the one where you could play as the. That might have even been in the second one too, but like the big point of this one was playing as like Darth Vader and shit like that.
Yeah.
Like it looked cool.
I still play that game. People
Yeah,
still
that one
play
was
that
really
shit
sick.
out of that game. And it's like 10, 11 years later.
Mad Max looked cool. I didn't really get to play it too much. I just saw Ryan driving around the wasteland for a while. It was not that. It's not a fun game to like watch someone else play, but I'm sure it'd be a fun game to play.
Yeah, it was fun. I played a little bit of it.
Two other games that came out that weren't on our radar at the time, but these were really big and they've kind of persisted is Rocket League and Splatoon are two of those games that like kids played the fuck out of for like 10 years,
I played Rocket League because I got a free version of it, and it's actually pretty fun. It's like
I remember the
soccer, but with
precursor to
cars.
it. Yeah, there was a game that came out for like the Xbox when we were kids that was like Super Car Soccer League or some shit. That was like the precursor, and I remember that one.
I feel like those games were like mini games. Like you would get a game and then you'd be able to like play a game with inside of it, and it would be like that. It'd be like a mini game. And now I feel like those mini games are becoming more and more popular.
Yeah, that's true. And Splatoon is the other one that I remember seeing like a lot of merchandise for that one everywhere with like the ink guns and like the squids and stuff like that. That people were just shooting wads of ink at one another. And like I said, I think it's very marketable for merchandise. And I'd see like plushies of like the little squids and stuff.
I've never seen this game before. Splatoon 3, Nintendo Switch.
I mean, I guess I don't know if they're actually squids or if just like they're people that look like squids. I don't really know what their deal is, but their hair is like squid-like.
There are squids in the game.
Okay, yeah, I thought so. I thought they were like little white squids. Oh yeah. Okay, now I see it. Yeah. So I remember I saw like little plushies of the squids being sold, and I mean, it looks kind of like a fun, silly game for kids. It seems like if I was a kid when that came out, I enjoy it. But speaking of kids playing with splattery stuff, get into a toy that was pretty popular. I remember this kind of being sort of a viral thing. This is still like we're like kind of on the cusp of virality at this point in 2015. Things are being shared heavily. People are probably using the word viral, but I don't feel like it's the same thing. TikTok's not around yet, so it's not like everything is this huge trend everybody knows about. Isn't that interesting? That's TikTok is what makes everything like immediate. Everybody knows about it.
I think Instagram was what that started.
Yeah. I mean, that's like when you started to see these trends.
Yeah.
Like the Ice Bucket Challenge and stuff like that. You start seeing people hashtag things and whatever, but it just feels like nowadays you'd be like, hey, you know how everyone's talking about how fucking Cheetos or whatever? And you'd be like, oh yeah. Anyway, the game I'm getting here. So a toy was super popular this year was Pie Face. Do you remember this being a thing? I remember being popular.
Yes, dude. I did. I played this at one of my company Christmas parties at the Shamrock.
That makes sense. Yeah, it was just this game that everybody was super like. It's such a simple concept. You wonder why no one invented this years ago, and someone made bank inventing it now. But you just like press a button. It's like Don't Wake Daddy, but instead of the dad waking up and popping off the bed, you get a pie to the face. Like you just sit there with your face in a little hole and press a button, and then it pies you. Like whipped cream pie. That's pretty fun. It's also funny too to sell it like that when you could just like have your dad hold a pie in his hand and be like, again, and then he just chooses when he's done and pies you. Yeah,
that's true. It's like Duck Duck Goose.
Yeah, exactly.
They get a pie to the face.
That's fun though. That's a funny game. I never played it.
Speaking of games, let's move on to some of the sports, the adult games. The World Series champions were the Kansas City Royals. The Super Bowl champions were the New England Patriots. The NBA champions were the Golden State Warriors. The Stanley Cup champions were the Chicago Blackhawks. And there was a Women's World Cup this year. The United States won 5-2 versus Japan.
Is there not a Women's World Cup the same years?
No, it's like the regular World Cup where it's like...
they're offside of each other?
Yeah.
They don't happen the same year as each other?
No.
Well, you mentioned the Warriors in there. This is the first time the Warriors had won a championship as a franchise since 1975. So it's been quite a bit of time. This is a cool one because you would assume, especially if you weren't there or if you weren't a big basketball fan, you probably think you have an idea of who the MVP was. But like, if you actually know who it was, it's kind of surprising. It was Andre Iguodala, who is not like one of the stars on the team, really, necessarily, especially at the time. Obviously, Splash Brothers, Clay and Curry. But Iguodala really is the one who came out. He came off the bench, as their sixth man. He's the only player in history to win the MVP award without starting all games in the finals.
Oh shit.
Yeah, he was really a linchpin though. He was a fucking awesome player. They fell behind 2-1, and then Steve Kerr started putting in Iggy as the fifth spot. He rotated him in place of Andrew Bogut. Bogut's like 7'1", and Iggy's like 6.5 feet tall. So they switched it up from being like a normal basketball game where you usually have your big man by the hoop and put in a normal size guy, ushering in this era of small ball that the Warriors would dominate for years. Their small lineup would just devastate the NBA because these guys were all fast. They could all shoot. They all knew how to pass and were kind of indefensible.
It's all more about the fundamentals than the size and strength.
Steve Kerr is the first rookie coach to win the title since Pat Riley did back in 1982. And Pat Riley is one of the all-time greatest coaches. So in good company there. Kerr, he's going to go on to be one of the best coaches, I think. He's up there with Phil Jackson, Pat Riley. Like, he's one of those guys who knows the game. All right, this is a fun kind of off-the-wall for us sports story that we don't normally get into. American Pharoah would win the first Triple Crown since 1978 in horse racing. So Warriors won their first championship since 1975. American Pharoah wins the first Triple Crown since 1978. Thought that was kind of cool. Only 13 horses have ever accomplished a Triple Crown. Now, since this occurred, the most recent one was in 2018. So 2 kind of happened right back to back, but only 13 in the history of horse racing, 100-year plus history. 2 of them were kind of recent, but other than that, this is really rare. He won the Kentucky Derby, the Preakness Stakes, and the Belmont Stakes. Also won the Breeders' Cup Classic that year, which made him the second Grand Slam of thoroughbred racing winner. He won 4 of the big races.
4 titles.
Yeah.
Damn.
The first time that somebody won the Grand Slam was in 1941.
Holy shit.
So this is the second time.
Damn.
This horse was phenomenal. That's
crazy.
The Breeders' Cup Classic has been a possibility to win since 1984. Like, that's how long it's existed. So no one's won that one with all the other ones since 84. So yeah, American Pharoah is just a fucking ass-kicking horse, I guess.
Damn. That's awesome.
That's the kind of horse you melt down and make super glue out of. He doesn't go in a bottle of Elmer's. He's strong,
Super glue.
I was going to say the horse was safe from being glue, but no, that's the kind of horse you do want to make him into glue. Get a small little bottle of glue off of that horse.
This is the sacred glue. You keep it in a box.
Yeah. You don't let the kids touch this one. This is special glue.
Billboard made a lot of money off that horse this year.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. I don't even think about that. Like, horse racing is like the betting thing,
Yeah,
like,
if you bet, if it hasn't happened since the 1940s, say you did bet for him to win the quad crown, whatever it's called.
Even the Triple Crown, but yeah, if you bet him to get the Grand Slam, which has not happened since 41, yeah.
I don't doubt anybody did, but if you did,
know. I think after you see the first race go through, then you're like, this guy's got a chance. And you see the second race, and you're like, fuck. Then at that third race, it must have been like nuts. Everyone would have been like, all right, gather around, God, that would be crazy.
For sure.
The OTB places, like all those off-track betting houses must have been gnarly, dude. I've never been to a horse race before. That'd be fun to go to a horse track. I'd love to go to one and bet on it. Like, that's like, I don't like gambling, but I think that'd be cool to go and pick a horse and be like, I want to see this guy win. Daddy needs a new pair of shoes.
No, I've never been to the horse tracks either.
Seems
I'm
like
down.
fun.
Let's go one day, Trey.
I definitely want to make sure it's not like one of those things where it's like really cruel to the animals or whatever, but
you probably don't see it.
Yeah.
It's not like you're going to a bullfight.
Yeah, exactly. At least it's not that bad. Yeah, I'm not like having to watch these things get like, they don't really even whip them anymore, huh? They just like let them chase the little rabbit.
Yeah, I don't think so, yeah.
All right, let's move on. So, American Pharoah, top-rated horse of the year 2015. Let's move on to the top-rated television programs of the year 2015. Number 1, you've got Sunday Night Football, keeping it in the sports world. Man, how do I keep fucking up these perfect transitions?
You can take that again.
It's more fun to do it that way, I guess. That's hilarious. Anyway, yeah, Sunday Night Football was the top-rated program. Speaking of football, I could have gone that route. Yeah, it's always weird to me when football is was that high.
I feel like that there's, now that we've been doing this, there's been like a time period where that has been the thing.
Yeah,
But I
like
don't
just
think that that's the case necessarily anymore. I think that there was like from the 2000s to like this point in time, there's like that 10-year span where this was up there in the
yeah,
number one watched.
yeah, really interesting to me because especially now having done the show so much and been like, oh yeah, you don't see stuff like. But I also know from like life before doing the show, people compare a lot of stuff to football, or they go, excluding football, this is the best whatever.
Yeah.
So it's always kind of used as a benchmark, but that's just because that's how it was for, like you said, those 10 years or whatever. So Sunday Night Football is number 1, NCIS is number 2, and Big Bang Theory is number 3. NCIS we've talked about before too, and I'm always shocked that that does as well as it does. I didn't realize that was that popular.
Yeah, and then I was looking through it too, and then Blue Blood is on like the top 10. And that's like
similar kind of thing.
It's like the same kind of thing. So it's like people are watching enough of both of these shows.
You think that it would
For that
it would be one or the other? Yeah. Damn, that's pretty funny. Those are definitely some mom shows.
Yeah, for sure.
I think my mom watched Blue Bloods. I know she watched NCIS for sure, but I'm pretty sure she watched Blue Bloods too. Isn't that with Tom Selleck?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she watched Blue Bloods. All right, you got a couple debuts this year. I remember Making a Murderer was really big. The documentary series on Netflix. I started watching it. I don't think I finished it. I think I kind of ended up catching wind of the fact that like the documentary just kind of misrepresents some facts or something like that, and so I kind of just decided not to get too invested.
I think I watched like one episode and then I was like, this is a fucking season. I'm not gonna watch 7 episodes or whatever this is. I was done after like the first maybe 1 or 2.
Yeah, I think I must have watched 1 or 2 as well, and kind of also sort of been like, I think I get it,
Yeah, I don't want to watch this 7 more times.
Yeah, also, yeah, just kind of that's why I really don't watch a lot of TV shows, because of the fact that I'm like, you asshole, you could have totally combined these 2 episodes into one. Or sometimes you'll get like 3 episodes deep and be like, all right, we have said a handful of things at this point. So,
yeah, or they'll have like a lot of stuff going on and then there'll be like filler episodes. So they're like, well, we have to make this 10 episodes or whatever, But
yeah, series order for 12 episodes. Yeah, and you're like,
yeah,
maybe you guys didn't need to have that many episodes this time around. I don't know. There was also, in the world of reality TV, The Great American Baking Show was pretty big. Lip Sync Battle, that show was huge for a little bit. People really enjoyed that, just watching celebrities lip sync songs.
I don't remember that.
I never really got the appeal of it, but people liked it. Outside of those things, I thought it was interesting that the TV show Scream, as well as the TV show Scream Queens, both came out this year. Never watched either of them, despite loving the Scream franchise. I never saw the show.
No, me neither.
You had some Marvel stuff, Agent Carter, Daredevil, and Jessica Jones, and then iZombies, based on a comic book. Not Marvel, but it's a comic. Never watched any of those, really.
I watched Daredevil because I really liked the movie. But yeah, I watched like the first couple episodes. I don't know why I stopped, but I never really continued.
I used to read some Daredevil comics when I was a kid. I always liked him as a character, and I did watch it, and then I think I watched all of the first season until the last episode, and I just kind of was like, I don't know, man. This is like one of those shows where they keep teasing he's gonna get the suit, and stuff like that, and I was like, all right, I'm tired of this. I only watch a guy fight people in a hallway so many times before I start to lose interest.
But he's blind, Trey. Gosh.
What? I had to rewatch this. Better Call Saul. That was a big old show. I never watched it. Did you?
Yeah, I like that one more than Breaking Bad.
I've heard that from a number of people, which I definitely gotta check it out. Man, I love Bob Odenkirk.
Yeah, and it's not like it's before all of the Breaking Bad stuff, so you don't need to like have seen it or watched it all.
Yeah, I watched all of Breaking Bad. I enjoyed it. I just I did start Better Call Saul. Now I remember Michael McKean is in it. He plays like his dad or something, right? And he's like a
brother,
a germaphobe. Okay,
yeah.
Oh, he's his brother. That makes more sense. I remember thinking, like, how is he his dad? They're like the same age. Weird that I didn't just connect the dots. Same year, Mr. Robot came out.
I did watch that. Preparing for this, I've never seen it. Oh, before.
Okay. How was it? I never watched it.
I watched the first episode. It was pretty good. He's like psychologically messed up. He like hears his voices in his head and he talks to himself. But like the first scene, he like exposes this guy because he like went through all of his internet history and found like child like pornography, and like he's gonna like blackmail him, but then he doesn't blackmail him. He ends up just calling the cops, and he's like, "Cause I don't need your money." And then like the cops come, and he just like walks out of the thing. I was like, this is gonna be kind of cool. I only watched the first episode. I don't really know what happened or anything.
I've heard it's good.
It seemed cool.
It lasted for a while too, right?
Yeah, the name of the guy,
Rami Malek.
Yeah, Robbie Malek does a really good job.
He's a weird actor. I kind of like him. Sometimes I'm like, I don't know how I feel about him, but if he's in the right role, I think he's really good. And that seems like something I could see him being super weird and good in.
Yeah, he does do a good job.
I don't need your money.
It's like big old eyes.
He's a funny looking guy. He's Egyptian, I think.
I could see that.
Didn't he play King? That's actually, now I remembered, it's like wildly, it popped in my head. Doesn't he play King Tut in like The Night at the Museum too?
I don't think
that's
I've
like the first thing I saw him in.
I don't think I've seen the second one.
Let me see. Rami Malek, Night at the Museum. Yeah, he plays the.
It's racist.
yeah, he's that's where like I first really remembered seeing him in was in the he plays King Tut or something like that. All right, well, Night at the Museum is a pretty funny show. Let's name off a couple comedies here real quick. Won't go through the whole list, but Fresh Off the Boat and Superstore are two sitcoms that I really like from this year. I watched them years later, but I ended up picking up both of those shows and really, really liking them. Didn't you watch Superstore?
Yeah, I like Superstore a lot.
Mm-hmm. Superstore is good. Have you seen Fresh Off the Boat?
Yeah, I think I watched it in passing because Wendy or the kids were watching it. I never like sat down and really watched that whole show, but
yeah, I was pretty surprised by both of those. I really ended up enjoying both of them. Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt was pretty big for the time. I watched a couple of those because I like 30 Rock and it was a similar flavor, but it just never really hooked me. But I know my siblings liked it a lot.
I never watched
Last Man on Earth.
I watched that one.
Yeah, is that good? I haven't checked it out.
It was all right. I think it fell off pretty quickly because they say he's the last man on Earth, but he finds somebody like the first episode.
Yeah, I think I did watch the first one. It was kind of like, yeah.
I thought there would at least be maybe a season or an episode where he would go and be by himself. Like,
yeah. I actually do remember watching the first episode, like when it came out. I think it was when it was like new, so I just didn't keep up with it. So that's why I never finished any more than that. But I know I watched the first one. Documentary Now came out this year. We've talked about that a couple times with Bob and David. Mm-hmm. Wet Hot American Summer, First Day of Camp. A couple random ones. One that Brandon and I liked a lot was Big Time in Hollywood, Florida. I don't know if you've ever watched that with us, where it's like these two guys who like make movies. They're just like make amateur movies in their hometown and get embroiled in weird things. And I don't know why. It was a show we both really liked and it only lasted one season. So I can never find it streaming anywhere though. And F is for Family. That's the big cartoon comedy for this year for adults.
Yeah.
I know that was, I mean, I really loved the first season.
I really loved the first season too. I think I watched the second one and I didn't really watch past that. There's probably like 5 now.
Yeah, one of those weird things where I kind of like, oh yeah, I probably kept going for a while at least. And I just really remember the first 2. I don't think I kept up with it after that. Children's cartoons. Really, I only saw 2 that I recognized. We Bare Bears and Star versus the Forces of Evil.
I mean, either of those.
I have no reason to like watch cartoons. So the fact that I recognize those makes me go, maybe kids know them. We Bare Bears, I know because it stars like a handful of comedians that I thought that was interesting. Dimitri Martin is one of the bears.
Oh, okay.
Let's see. Who else is in there? Eric Edelstein. Oh, Bobby Moynihan. He's the other one.
Oh.
The other bear is interesting, though. It's Eric Edelstein. That's weird. I don't recognize the guy by name, but we'll talk about him later in the episode, actually. Put a pin in that. Eric Edelstein. Funny. Okay. When we get to the movies, he's going to come up. All right. Speaking of movies, let's move on out of TV into the next section of the show so we can get one step closer to movies, shall we?
Let's do it. Moving on to music. All right, for number 5, starting it off, is Sugar by Maroon 5. Released on January 13th, 2015. The song peaked at number 2 in the US on the top 100s, and then it went diamond in 2022. Mike Posner wrote the song and recorded a version of it, and it was going to be on his upcoming album, Pages, but the album was canceled, so he let Adam Levine use it because Adam Levine liked it a lot. And then they reworked the song, and then Maroon 5 put it out.
Like it did decently commercially, peaking at number 2 for 4 weeks, but it did pretty well critically. That was interesting to me that it got Grammy nominations for Best Pop Duo/Group Performance. And it also was the 8th consecutive top 10 for the band. So they're such a popular group, Maroon 5. It's all Adam Levine. I mean, it's crazy. We've talked about that too before, but like I've always thought that's really cool of him to have not just struck out solo immediately. That he kept it Maroon 5, because after the first album, he easily could have just been Adam Levine by himself and been just as popular,
Yeah, for sure. And
they're like
does do other things, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't really think he does do a lot of music on his own. I think that he tries to keep everything that he comes out with as Maroon 5.
Yeah, good for him.
To keep his buddies paid. I mean, that's really, really awesome of him. It's incredibly easy to not do that. And they're one of the most top selling bands of all time.
Yeah.
And it's obviously on the strength of him. They're not that good of a band. You don't know.
That's what I was just thinking. They're just one of those bands that you would think of being they're just one of those rock bands that are just whatever, Three Doors Down or whatever.
Yeah.
I could see them falling into that category, but
they're just like a pop backing track now, they were, that first CD is real. I really like their first album, Jane's Addiction, or what Jane's Addiction, Songs About Jane.
Yeah.
That one's really good, and they're a cool band. They have an interesting sound. They're playing instruments, but now they're just, like I said, they're just backing tracks for him to do a pop song on. He's a good-looking guy. He sings well. He's insanely famous. But the rest of Maroon 5 could walk into my house right now and be like, "Get the fuck out of here, you strangers!" If he walked in, I'd be like, "We were just talking about you."
Oh, and you brought the band.
Yeah, no, he'd walk in first, and I'd be like, "Oh my god, dude, come in. Do you want to do it?" And then they'd walk in right after it, and I'd be like, "What the fuck? Get out of here! You're being followed." This video for this song was pretty interesting. I don't know if you checked it out. It was directed by David Dobkin, who was the director of the film Wedding Crashers. I guess he and Adam Levine knew each other, and they decided to do a video in which Maroon 5 was the surprise wedding band at a handful of weddings throughout LA. So they would
pretty cool.
Just fucking their goal was to trick everybody, not just the audience, but the couple and everybody there. I guess they were just getting involved with the wedding planners or the venues or something, and going over the entire wedding party's heads. And then eventually at some point someone was like, "This is fucked up. We can't do this." So they did get in touch with the husbands to be, the grooms to be, and told them about it. They told them there will be a Grammy-nominated, world-famous band will be the ones to play. But they didn't tell them who it was going to be. And all the guys said, "Okay, yeah, we'll do it." And then right before the wedding, all the guys backed out. And they were like, "Never, I just can't do this. This is too much of a risk." So then they finally told me, "It's Maroon 5. And so then they were like, "Yeah, all right, my girl likes Maroon 5, so we can do that." And they played this song for real there. And then afterwards, because Adam Levine was like, "I don't really know that these people are going to want to hear our fucking brand new single that they don't know yet," So after they were done with recording the video, he then had the band play "She Will Be Loved." So that way the bride and groom could have a song that actually fucking meant something to them. Not something we're like, "Cool, I guess, sounds like it'll be a hit, you guys. Thanks."
Yeah, that's crazy to do that. I'm sure, I don't know, would you risk it, I guess? That's the question.
To even get to the point where you were told, because to be told it was Maroon 5, you had to be on board with not knowing who it was, and then
that's what I'm saying. Would you be on board with not knowing who it was? Would you?
Me, no, because I don't like new music. It could be it's the best band in the world. I'd be like, "No, fuck that. I don't like most bands." I'd have to be like, it has to be someone not very famous, I think. You have to be like, it's this band. You've heard of them, but not most people.
Voodoo Glow Skulls are going to be at your wedding.
The Avett Brothers. I guess if they told me, "Hey, it's a Grammy-nominated band," yeah, you could.
Yeah, but that could be anybody. Yeah, the Grammys could be. Yeah, I don't like most things that. But I don't know. I feel like Megan would be like, it doesn't matter who it is.
Well, I don't know. I guess she likes more popular music than I do, but she also doesn't listen to that's not mostly what she listens to, especially not bands. She doesn't listen to bands current day. That would be the most intriguing thing about it. I'd be like, "It's a band?" I'd be like, "Fuck, okay, let's see. Hold on. Is it Maroon 5? That'd be the first thing I said. It's a famous band. Is it the California Raisins?" They're all, "No, what the fuck?" I'm like, "Then it's Maroon 5. And they're like, yeah, yeah, that is right. What was your first guess of the Raisins? This is the most two popular bands there are anymore. They also made a whole little YouTube series based on this music video where celebrities would show up at random places like after the fact. That they did a handful of episodes in 2018. Weirdly, I just thought it was weird that this was like based on the music video. 3 years later, a TV show in which other
It's not
celebrities
based
are
on
doing
like
stuff.
Wedding Crashers where
Yeah, exactly, right? The first one too is Maroon 5 plays a prom or something like that. I don't remember. They play somebody's thing. And then
that's
after
way
that, it's
cooler
just
than a
other-
wedding.
Yeah, prom.
At least
remember,
that's
like,
already like a party.
yeah.
No.
The prom stuff, I always think about that in old movies, especially from movies from when we were kids and a little later than that. But like the 90s and early 2000s, every prom movie, there's a band playing in it. And it's like, damn, that seems like it would have been so sick. Like by the time we were old enough, they weren't doing that anymore.
No, it was all DJs. Even when we were in middle school and stuff like that, it was just all DJs.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, you could
so,
pay
like,
a DJ $100 to do a middle high school dance.
I think maybe, yeah, at that point, if we had been graduating high school at the time we were going into middle school, there might have been a band. But yeah, by the time we were out there, it was already too
It
late.
was too late. We were too deep in it.
All right, speaking of being too deep, we're about to get too deep into this list. Because the second one on our list is number 4, Trap Queen by Fetty Wap. This came out April 22nd of 2014. Peaked at, again, number 2. This one only for 3 weeks. Maroon 5 was for 4 weeks. This one was only for 3 weeks, and it ended up higher up on the list. It's Fetty Wap's debut single. Fetty Wap, of course, short for Fettuccine Whopper. And
why didn't we do that in the food section?
Burger King debuted the Fettuccine Whopper this year. And it was huge. It was a huge hit. The backing track for this song was produced by Tony Fad, and he released it for free on his website. So just some guy who was like making beats and putting them out there for people to use. And man, I'm sure he was pretty fucking stoked that Fetty Wap decided to use it.
Yeah, hell yeah.
This, obviously, this being Fetty Wap's debut single, he had been making music for years prior to this, of course. It's not like he just decided to step to a microphone this time. But this was the first time he ever sung on a track, which is like his signature style, And he had never done that before. He only ever rapped before. And so this one, he decided to try singing on it. Ended up being a great decision because obviously paid off for him. He freestyled the verses. And then after it did well on SoundCloud, he went in and added in the rapped verse where he's just like straight rapping. And that when I was listening to it, like, intentionally sitting down and listening to it, I was like, I don't remember this verse where he's just regular rapping in it. And I was like, this is the worst part of the song by a mile. He's not a very good rapper. Like the good part about Fetty Wap is hearing him do his weird singing.
And then he like retroactively put that in there?
Yeah. He after the fact went back because I think it wasn't long enough. So he wanted it to, or he had to like, it was too repetitive. So when he trimmed down the song, it ended up being too short. So then he had to fill it out with that.
Gotcha.
Then they did a full commercial release of the song on December 15th of 2014. So, I mean, it was out for a while online and then like a digital single and all that before they finally brought it to radios in December of 2014. Then, really what made this song blow up, because it had a long road to being popular. What made this song pop was Kanye West brought Fetty Wap on stage on February 12th at a Rock City Classic concert and declared that this is his favorite song currently. And so when Kanye West said, this is my favorite song, everyone said, oh, I guess we got to listen to Fetty Wap now because apparently he's good. So that's what ended up, causing him to blow up, really. Then they ended up playing at the...
Good for him.
Yeah, really awesome. Can you imagine that? Like, if you're a rapper especially, it'd be like, have Kanye West play you on stage and then declare that. At a time when Kanye West still was not, not fully off the deep end yet. So it would have meant a lot more.
He was just crazy enough to be a good artist at this point.
Yeah. After that, he played the MTV Movie Awards and played this song with Fall Out Boy. That was pretty interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Because they started with like, I can't remember what song they played first. Whatever their current song from this year was. Then they like went into Trap Queen. And it was kind of cool. I liked the guitar with his singing, but I didn't like the way they harmonized with him. I think they like he's too loose, and they're very like strictly vocals and guitar and shit like that is very like regimented sounding. You know,
Yeah.
they're not too jammy. So I think their harmonies were too tight for him.
Yeah. I didn't watch it. I remember it happening though.
This is one of those things that in retrospect, when he came out and he blew up and I was like, oh, what is this? I don't like this guy. He's not, what the fuck is this? There's no talent here. So, I mean, it annoyed me that he had success, I think. Now going back and listening to it, it's like, I actually do think it's enjoyable to hear the way he sang. It's super weird. It's not necessarily talent, but it sounds cool. His singing is fun. What do you think of it?
It just reminds me of like club nights and stuff. But I liked it going back to it because a lot of this kind of music I just kind of tune out.
Yeah.
But no, it was fun. I liked it.
I think under different circumstances than the top, this is my second favorite from the top 5 this week. But in a different year in the 2010s decade, this would easily be number 1 for me from the top 5. It's just that there's a different one in this top 5 that I like more.
I guess we'll find out which one it is.
Could it be number 3? Ooh,
right.
We'll see. I'll tell you. Spoiler alert. No.
Number 3 is See You Again by Wiz Khalifa. I don't know if it was featuring, but I got featuring Charlie Puth.
Yeah, I also saw it as featuring.
Okay, because I saw it in a few different ways.
It kind of felt like it was Charlie Puth's track, though, doesn't it? It feels like it's more his, and like he seemed to be more behind it. So it seemed weird that he was not, that it wasn't his track. I think that was his decision. We'll get into that.
Okay. Released on March 10th, 2015. It's been 12 non-consecutive weeks at number 1 on the Billboard charts.
Wild. To go from being like number 2 for a couple weeks to number 1 for 12 weeks, and this is only 3. Like, this is really weird. When we get more current in music, I really don't understand how the charts play out.
I think that they don't know either. I really don't. Because how are you going to track all of this stuff?
Yeah, good point.
And then it's versus like sales and downloads, but you're not necessarily making the same amount of money off sales than you would be downloads, because if it's like off Spotify or whatever, you know what I mean? So there's so much that goes on.
The idea of playing it, like it playing on the radio, is it playing for everybody? But each individual person playing it on their Spotify counts as one thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, so.
Then how do you know how many people are listening to the radio?
Yeah, exactly. So it's just like, that's a radio play. That just counts for once for everybody who could have been possibly listening to the radio that day.
Yeah, I don't know. But anyway, it was nominated for 3 Grammys, Song of the Year, Best Pop Duo, and the Best Song Written for Visual Media. And it was also nominated for the Best Original Song at the Golden Globes.
Reason being, because this was the song that was the lead single to the Furious 7 soundtrack.
Yes.
So this was written for the Fast and Furious movie.
And it was then later included in the bonus track for Puth's debut album, 9-track Mine, in 2016.
Yeah, see, weird that it's also included on Puth's album, but still a Wiz Khalifa track.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of records on this song. It broke a lot of records. I'm going to just run through this stuff kind of quickly because it's got a lot of stuff. It's both of these artists' biggest single that they've come out with. It's tied for second for the longest running rap single of all time on the Billboard charts, with Lose Yourself by Eminem. Number 1 is Old Town Road. That song is kind of an anomaly. Like, that's a fun novelty song that just took over the world. So I don't know if anything's ever going to top that. But as far as like regular, real rap songs go, this and Lose Yourself are both tied. This also was the most streamed track on Spotify in a single day until One Direction's Drag Me Down came out July 31st of this same year. So they broke the record for a couple months, and then One Direction took them over. It was also the most viewed video on YouTube from July 10th of 2017 to August 4th of 2017. Also really held that for a very short amount of time and a couple of years after having come out. But Despacito overtook it. But there was a short amount of time where it was the most streamed track in a single day and the most watched video on YouTube. It's currently the 6th most viewed video on YouTube and the 4th most liked. So it still is one of the biggest videos ever.
Did you watch it?
Yeah, it's mostly just them kind of like singing, standing next to cars, and then some like clips from the movie of Paul Walker driving around, you know, because it's a tribute to Paul.
It's like a tribute to him, yeah.
Yeah, that was the other big thing. I mean, that's really why this song. First of all, the Furious movies are huge, but Paul Walker, this being his tribute song, I think also really contributed it to being a big song. So Charlie Puth, I mentioned earlier, I think he was kind of hesitant to be the one to sing on this track. I don't think he thought he was like had what it took. This is Furious 7. I'm writing the song. I can't also. I'm not sure if I'm not a star. He's not. He's not at this point. He hasn't had his debut album, obviously, and nobody knows who the fuck he is. He's just a songwriter. So I think he was trying to push to get somebody else on there for a little bit. They looked at Chris Brown, Sam Smith, Jason Derulo, and even Adele wanted to get in on this track, reportedly. And none of them just fit right. You know, it didn't, according to him, especially trying to capture the Paul Walker tribute of it. He said it just didn't feel like it was coming right from any of them, and he ended up being the one to sing it. Like, those are some fucking heavyweight singers.
You just can't do it like me.
I'm gonna have to, you know, Chris Brown, he just can't sing like I can. And then a couple of the other rappers that were offered the part before Wiz were Eminem, 50 Cent, and Tyga.
They all turned it down or what?
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know if they couldn't come up with, or maybe they came out with verses and it wasn't what they were looking for. You know, they might have shopped around, I think, maybe the song or the producers. Eminem and 50 Cent makes sense to go to before Wiz, but Tyga, that's a surprising one. I feel like Wiz Khalifa is a little bigger than him.
Yeah, that's true.
And then last I will say is that this was the biggest selling song in the world for 2015. So only number 3 for America, but it topped the world charts. All right, number 2 is Thinking Out Loud by Ed Sheeran. Came out August 8th of 2014. Again, peaked at number 2. This one for 8 weeks. Seems to be less than the last song we talked about peaking at number 1, but oh well. It was the first song to be streamed over 500 million times on Spotify.
Damn.
It's actually Ed Sheeran's biggest song in the U.S. still to this day, which I thought was kind of surprising. I would have thought some of his other like kind of more poppy songs would have been bigger that he came out with later.
I feel like I hear it all the time still.
Yeah, I guess. I guess it's had a lot of staying power. That's true. In the UK, just to run down how it did in the UK, his home country, it set the record for streams in a single week with 1.85 million. It also was the longest ascent to number 1. It took 19 weeks to reach the top there. And also the longest time in the top 40 in the UK at a total of 52 weeks. So one solid year in the top 40 over there. That's a record. Over here, it got Grammy nominated for Record of the Year, and it won for Song of the Year, as well as Best Pop Solo Performance. According to Ed Sheeran, it was written in about 20 minutes, which
Damn.
The lyrics of this song are pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
Not incredibly inventive.
Yeah.
I like Ed Sheeran's pop stuff, kind of. He's such a weird artist to me. I really don't understand his level of success at all. I think he's okay. I don't think he's not a particularly like gifted singer. And then like when you listen to this song, the lyrics are kind of sort of bad, to be honest. They're a little too on the nose. And so I don't know. It's just weird. And he's not like a good looking guy. So I just don't really get his appeal. But I'm just, it's not for me too. You know, I'm not a 13-year-old girl, so I guess his music's not written for me, you know?
Yeah, I guess that is the appeal of it. It's for
girls in love, you know?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
The original chorus was "I'm singing out now" instead of "I'm thinking out loud." I was like, wow, okay, that was worse. I didn't like thinking out loud. I think that part is like a weird, it doesn't really fit with the rest of the song. Like, also, why would you name it that? I'm just thinking out loud, but hey, we might be in love for forever. Like, what do you mean thinking out loud? That doesn't really fit with what you're saying. I'm just thinking out loud here.
Yeah, I'm spitballing.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just thinking out loud. But maybe we get married and spend 70 years together. Huh? It's because it was originally "I'm singing out now." I'm so excited about the fact that we're in love. I'm singing it out, you know?
Yes.
Instead of just like, again, I just really think that's such a weird line. I'm thinking out loud here. This is totally off the top of my head, but the video for this song is just Ed Sheeran and a young woman doing like contemporary dance with one another. He trained 5 hours a day for 3 weeks while on tour to practice for the video. So he took it pretty damn serious.
That's cool.
And he's good. I mean,
and he learned a skill.
That's true too. Yeah, that's good for him. He's good at it, but the male part of that type of dancing is a lot less showy than the female portion of it. I think it still is difficult.
You're just kind of there as a structure.
Yeah, you do have to maintain form and move correctly and support them in the right ways and things, but You're not doing a lot of movement, so like he wasn't like the star of the show, but it's good for him to do it.
Yeah.
Last thing I'll say here. A few journalists did compare this song to Let's Get It On by Marvin Gaye from 1973. I don't know if that's familiar to you, but I'll reiterate the story from the other side now, because we have talked about Let's Get It On. And this bears repeating since now we're talking about the other single. Why not? In 2016, Ed Townsend, he sued Ed Sheeran. Ed Townsend is one of the co-writers of the song Let's Get It On. He sued Ed Sheeran, saying that this song bore resemblance to Let's Get It On. That case was thrown out, but 2 years later, he was sued by this company called Structured Assets Sales. They held a third of the copyright rights to Let's Get It On, so then they sued him. And eventually, it ended up going in Ed Sheeran's favor, and he didn't have to pay up anything. And his quote here that I have says, "These chords are common building blocks which were used to create music long before Let's Get It On was written and will be used to create music long after we are all gone."
Yep.
That's a pretty eloquent way of saying that.
Yeah, I mean, he's not wrong.
Because I mean, for me, I'd be like, dude, what the fuck? Like, other people wrote stuff with the same chords and they're going to keep doing it. You know, but like he said it a little more.
You got idiot, God.
You guys are fucking dumb and stupid. Shall we move on?
All right, moving on. Number 1 is Uptown Funk by Mark Ronson featuring Bruno Mars. It was a lead single off Ronson's 4th studio album, Uptown Special, written by Mark Ronson, Bruno Mars, Jeff Bossack, and Philip Lawrence. Uptown Funk topped the Billboard charts for 14 consecutive weeks and spent 7 weeks on the top of the UK charts.
So yeah, the rest of the top 5 were like, how did this make it here? Or wonder what, the jockeying for position. This one's like number 1 with the bullet, no questions asked. Uptown Funk held it down this year.
This was everywhere. Apparently it's started with a freestyle from a song that Bruno Mars has already been touring around with, and this was like a jam song that they've been playing or like playing in between sets, and they started messing around with it. Then they broke off, didn't play together for a long time, but
it kind of seemed like they were both in communication, just sort of like giving each other notes back and forth.
Yeah, like they were working on it for like months and months on end.
Yeah, like separately.
Yeah.
It was kind of a frustrating sounding situation coming up with this song, especially for Mark Ronson, because Ronson had already worked with Bruno Mars on his album Unorthodox Jukebox. And they had a couple songs that like they didn't get around to finishing for that album. And that's why Ronson was going over to meet with Mars in the first place, was to go work on these songs that they had already started. And like, we're just trying to finish. So then you show up and Bruno Mars is like, I don't know about all that. Let's just fucking jam. And he's, and you're like, all right, I guess we'll jam, and you have to sit there and figure out. And then you guys are starting to put together this thing. And it seemed like they kind of argued a little bit. Like they were sort of fighting one another over what parts of the song should go where. I mean, it's a lot. The song is orchestral almost in its production. So it seemed, like I said, a little stressful for them to be going back and forth over the course of months.
Yeah, all these different studios. There was like 2 studios in London, and then there's like a bunch of different studios in America, and they were just like going from place to place and recording different pieces of it and trying to like piece them together. Yes, it seemed like a lot.
Over 100 takes were used.
Jeez.
or performed. And at one point, there was a rock breakdown in the middle of the song, like a hard rock breakdown. And Bruno Mars says, like, let's burn this motherfucker down. It's like, that sounds kind of cool.
I want to hear that cut.
yeah. Then that got scrapped, and they almost just said, screw it, we're not doing the song at all. So, I mean, they really barely got this one out, it seems like. One funny thing in the songwriting was there's this guy who I guess is a songwriter here in America, apparently, named Philip Lawrence, who suggested that they have a bass line to open the song up. But he didn't play bass. So he just went, it just sounds something like this. Do, 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 do. And they said, okay, do that. So then they had him come in and do that on the track. Like, that's pretty cool.
It's like Jack Black.
Yeah.
Does it with his mouth because he can't play guitar like that.
Ring, ding, ding, diddle, diddle, ding. The Don't Believe Me, Just Watch line comes from the song All Gold Everything by Trinidad James, which, I mean, saying don't believe me, just watch, I don't think you need to attribute to anybody. It's not like it sounded like it or they sampled it or anything like that, but they
I
gave
read
him
that
writing credit for
too.
that.
I read that too, and then I listened back to it, and I was like, I don't even hear what they're talking about. And then I read it again, and I was like, that's just a phrase. Like,
Yeah, you get just like, okay, what the fuck?
I was like,
It's all
sounds
it's. I mean, maybe if you said all gold everything in the song, I could see needing to attribute it to this guy. But you just say, "Don't believe me, just watch." Like that's has to have been said in another song before that one. And so he was credited as a songwriter, as well as Devin Gillespie. I don't know, that was one of his songwriting partners for that song. A lot of songwriters got like kind of retroactively credited on this song.
well,
It
probably
also,
because so many people were in all these different studios.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, and over the course of that long, you have to be like, oh, here's another thing I thought of that might work. You're like, you might have heard that a month ago and forgot.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The Gap Band were added in May of 2015 to the writing credits for this song because it contains portions of Oops Upside Your Head from 1979. And they were awarded 17% of the royalties for the song, which is a pretty hefty portion. I mean, split between like 5 guys, but still, I mean, that's pretty sick to be the Big Gap Band. And you're like, we haven't had a hit in a while.
Yeah, I'll take it. I'll take new money.
But unfortunately for the Gap Band, they've had to sue 2 different times in the ensuing years for not receiving any of the funds.
Oh.
Yeah, 2 different times they've taken them back to court and being like, "Can you fucking pay us, please?" Or children, you know?
Pay somebody.
Yeah, goddamn. They also were sued by, there's a little list here, so get ready. The band Collage for the song. These are, I'm going to say the artist and then the song that it said it sounded like. Collage with Young Girls from 1983. The Sequence with Funk You Up from 1979. Zap with More Bounce to the Ounce from 1980. The Yugoslavian girl group Aska with Ulis Mrakne Nisu za Devoshke in 1984. All sued Bruno Mars and company for sounding like their songs.
What?
Yeah, quite a bit of lawsuits happening for this one.
Were they also all suing each other too?
I think
yeah,
like
you're right. I don't know. Suing phenomenon over here.
The song also drew comparisons to the theme song from the children's BBC television show, The Really Wild Show from 1986.
So they made no money off this.
Yeah, that one they didn't get to see it. Most of the people, the critics and everybody who compared, and just in general, like not just like referencing, being like, oh, it sounds like this, and like, oh, it looks like we've got a new iteration of Morris Day and the Time. That was like the one band that everybody compared this to. And there was no like specific song though. They just thought like, oh, they sound like they're evoking Morris Day and the Time's like overall aesthetic and sound. But apparently not enough to have sued them over anything, you know? Their big one's Jungle Love.
Oh, okay.
Oh. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so apparently there's a lot of late 70s, early 80s funk bands that they were drawing influence from. And I mean, the fact that all these songs came out within a 5-year period makes you think they probably were listening to a lot of this for inspiration, you know?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I can definitely see some of it making its way in there. But like you said, you don't think that the Gap Band had some stuff that sounded like something George Clinton did on a different album, you know?
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to believe that all of those people are claiming that they sound like them, but they don't sound like any of the other ones that they're claiming to be replicating.
Yeah, exactly. Collage never looked over at the Sequence like, hey, man, what are you doing over there? Yeah. Sound a lot like us. Yeah, a lot of litigation going on about this song, though. Outside of the courtroom, this song, to me, I think this is a really cool song. I think it's fucking fun as hell. I mean, it's like neat to have an old school sounding song, but it also exists out of time. I don't really, personally, like as someone who listens to a good amount of funk music from the 80s and stuff, I don't think this really does sound like it. I think it's in the same vein of, but I wouldn't think this is an older song if I heard it without knowing it. You know what I mean?
No, and I wouldn't think that it was like a ripoff of them too.
Yeah, neither would I. Yeah, I would definitely think this came out when it came out. It makes sense to be a 2015 song. It just doesn't sound like anything else that was on the radio at the time. It's almost like nostalgic for a sound that didn't really exist.
Yeah.
Like he created something that he's kind of referencing. Almost, it's just weird that it made me think of this. It's kind of like how I've always felt about Powerline from the Goofy movie. Like, there's not a real life pop star that Powerline is similar to. Really, you know? There's not really anybody that he was like a one-to-one for. It's like they created this idea of Powerline and then parodied him himself, you know? Like his songs are sick as fuck and there's not like, they don't sound like other music. So that's like kind of what this was, where it's like he was making up something to be like, oh, it's sort of like that old music, but you're like, not really. This is its own thing, you know?
Yeah, like I get why you think that, but it doesn't sound like that.
Yeah, I can see the influences for sure, but I don't like Powerline. You're like, yeah, maybe this is supposed to be influenced by Prince and Michael Jackson, but it's way different than that.
Yeah.
But again, I really do like the song. It's a super fun song, like the hey. It's a fun song to do at karaoke. It's a really cool. It's a cool one. This is my favorite song for the top 5, just because it is so much fun and so different and unique. And
this is my favorite one too. This is still like everyone gets hyped when you put it on. And
I think if you can create a wedding song, it's like making a Christmas movie. You know, you're like, oh, I'm set. I don't even have to fucking work ever again. I'm in a different echelon than the rest of these people who are my contemporaries. Mariah Carey's like, you keep coming out with albums if you want, bitch. I'm done. You know, like I'm never gonna fucking worry about that again.
Yeah, that's a good point. Start working on it, Trey.
Yeah, I could come up with some Christmas music, some wedding stuff, like the Casper slide or whatever. Like you think those guys, they're set for forever, and they never even had to like go do a show. You know.
Yeah, it's true.
All right, out of the top, unless you have anything else to say about Bruno.
Nope.
All right, we don't talk about Bruno. Now let's move on to some of the debut acts to come out this year. Just a handful of them, but Sabrina Carpenter, her first album was this year. You also had Tori Kelly came out with her debut album. I don't really know how big she is as a real artist, but I just know she's from Menifee, so like that's cool.
Who's that?
Tori Kelly.
Yeah, I don't know.
If you hadn't heard of her, then I guess it's not that interesting. But still, she's from Menifee, so that's cool. Joey Badass came out this year as well. And then Chris Stapleton also would debut this year. That's noteworthy because most of these people, their debut albums didn't have anything that cool. But Chris Stapleton's has his probably biggest song on there.
Yeah, I hear it all the time. I'm surprised it wasn't in the top list.
So was I. Yeah, that's
maybe
also.
In the following year it is?
No, didn't chart. I looked through.
Damn, I'm surprised.
Yeah, really, really crazy. That's why I put it up there. I mean, that was definitely the one that surprised me the most out of this year to not have hit the top 100. I Bet My Life by Imagine Dragons. I mean, that one was pretty popular for the time. I fucking can't stand that band, but that song is probably their worst song. Unfortunately, the song that got stuck in my head the most from this week is the one I put all the way down at the bottom of the list. Did you listen to Robin Williams by CeeLo Green?
Yeah, I did.
God damn, I was so bummed about how that song got stuck in my head. I was, what a fucking ghoul, CeeLo. What a nasty person you have to be to make that song. It's all about how Robin Williams has died. He's just cashing in on Robin Williams' death.
Yeah,
and being like, nobody knows what the next man's going through. Wish I could say it I remember it. Wish I could say it in a plainer way. Life reminds me of Robin Williams. Wish I could laugh the pain away. I was like, ew, what the fuck, man? That's like,
yeah, it's so messed up.
Ugh, so seedy. And then if you didn't already dislike it enough, then he just starts adding in extra comedians who've died. Just the next line is like, John Belushi knew us better than we knew ourselves, and we all listened to Richard Pryor. I was like, what the fuck? That came even farther out of left field. John Belushi knew us better than we knew ourselves. I don't know. That's how you describe his comedy.
I think that says more about you than everybody else.
Yeah, right. And then also he tosses in Philip Seymour Hoffman for good measure. Because it's like, I know Philip Seymour Hoffman's done some funny roles, but I don't think of him as a comedian.
No, I don't think of him as a comedian either.
I feel like he's a great serious actor. Sure, he's done a handful of funny things, but he's like I would
say he's known for his serious acting more than...
Yeah, exactly. Super. It's kind of funny when you see him do a funny role. You're like, oh, hey, this guy's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, really terrible song. Fuck you, CeeLo. More people need to know about that. You're trash, dude.
The Offspring, I was surprised to see.
Offspring, that single set the record for the longest time between number ones on the mainstream rock chart. So this didn't hit the Billboard chart officially, but like the main, they got a bunch of little miniature charts. On the mainstream rock chart, they had hit number one back in 1997 with Gone Away. They hit number one again here in 2015. So
hell yeah.
So broke a record. This song is not good. I didn't like it one bit, but good for them for getting back on the list,
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I ever heard it until it was on here, to be honest.
Neither did I. Yeah, it's like, what the fuck is this mainstream rock chart? If a band that I already knew and listened to at the time, I didn't know this song came out. Like, I was actively listening to The Offspring, going to shows and shit in 2015.
Yeah, I had no idea. It must have not been that good then.
The next one right out under them is from Faith No More. That album that this is off of, Soul Invictus, that was Faith No More's first album since 1997. When they did the album called Album of the Year. So Offspring and Faith No More both, getting back out there since 1997. Huge gap. Speaking of a gigantic gap, last thing I'll say on this top list is that Paul McCartney. I don't know if you noticed him on there on 4 or 5 seconds. This was Paul McCartney's first time in 29 years on the top 10. It finished at number 42 for the year. 4 or 5 seconds was the name of the song. On our list, it's like number 20 something, 25. So anyway, I mean, that's not really, Paul McCartney's barely a part of that song, it feels like, but this is the longest break between top 10 singles for anybody ever.
Damn.
The last one for him was Spies Like Us in 1986.
Damn. It's a long time.
29 years. Yeah, so a lot of big breaks on the chart for this.
Yeah.
This year. One of my favorite songs for this year actually did make it to the top 100, which I was surprised about. Budapest by George Ezra. It's number 46 on our list. It was towards the bottom of the actual top 100. It was 89 for the year in the actual Billboard list, but on ours it's 46. I liked that song a lot. That seems like something that would have been like from the 90s to me.
Yeah, I could see that. It's a fun song. Mm-hmm.
Give me one more reason why I would never feel this way. It reminds me a lot of Matilda. On my way. Dun, dun,
oh, yeah.
On my way. Bum, 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 on my way. Like, it seems like it would be a song from that era.
Yeah, I could see that. I like that you put Hobson on here. That's not a name I see very often anymore.
Yeah, this is Ill Mine 7. I don't even think I heard this one when it came out, but I was like, oh, hey, Hobson's still doing Ill Mines. Might as well throw that on there.
Yeah, it's just the only thing he's done, so he just keeps doing them over and over.
Yeah, I remember the first one still when it came out. That was pretty sick.
Yeah.
Pretty random here that the two near the bottom that were pretty wild to have come out were John Carpenter and Giorgio Moroder. Both came out with albums this year. I thought that was very funny just to have two dudes who do film scores to come out with these albums way later in their careers,
for like no reason. I mean, at least John Carpenter's was kind of like spooky.
Yeah, it kind of just seemed like the movie that he's been making for his movie, or I mean, the music he's been making for his movie soundtracks for the last 40 years. So
yeah, really,
it didn't really seem like it was
ones that didn't make
doing.
it.
Yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe these were just from, but they literally sound exactly like his film scores.
Yeah.
And then the Giorgio Moroder one's funny. I like that. I put on there 74 is the new 24. You're like, I don't think so, George. 74, dude. That's old as hell.
Keep telling you. Maybe it's the new 54. I'll give you that.
Yeah, maybe. I'll give you that much. I actually kind of liked the Giorgio song, though, a little bit. I was surprised.
Yeah, it was actually a lot more like techno than I expected it to be.
Yeah, I was like, he's pretty good. We haven't talked about him since like the 70s, so it's neat to have him pop up. All right. Well, speaking of movies and scores, let's move into cinema, should we?
Let's do it.
We're going to the box office to determine what was number one in the U.S. I was kind of surprised. There are a couple franchises that seemed like they could have been battling out for top position this year. Number one, though, we're going to be looking at Jurassic World. This film came out June 12th of 2015, directed by Colin Trevorrow, written by Colin, as well as Rick Jaffa, Amanda Silver, and Derek Connolly. It stars Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard. I felt like that was enough. They really were the only stars of this movie, I thought.
Yeah.
I'm not writing down the kid's name. No one gives a fuck what the kid's named. The budget for this movie was $150 million. And the gross in the year 2015 was $652,270,625 domestically.
Damn.
All right. Plot synopsis today is coming from Jurassic Park Fandom.com. Jurassic World is a 2015 science fiction action adventure film and the fourth entry of the Jurassic franchise and the sequel to Jurassic Park 3. Set 22 years after the original Jurassic Park's downfall, Jurassic World revolves around a functional theme park featuring dinosaurs, which is then thrown into chaos when a genetic hybrid known as the Indominus Rex escapes containment. Alrighty. Returning back to the world of Jurassic Park after however many years since the last one.
I think the one that I think it was 93 when the original one came out was the last time. But
the last time that we've been there, yes, for the show.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But the Jurassic Park 3, when was that one?
Probably late 90s.
Jurassic Park 3, let's see.
97.
2001.
Oh.
The second one, I think, was 97.
Oh, okay.
Second one's 97. The third one was 2001. Well, what did you think? What did you think at the time? You remember how you felt knowing, we're reopening this up after however long, 14 years?
I was excited for it to come back around because I think the idea of it is cool. Is like the park is here, like the park that they said that that couldn't open and wouldn't open actually did. I think this is a cool idea. I think it's fun. I think that they could have just ran with that idea and not added the super monster on top of it.
Yeah, I agree.
I think that's what lost me when it was like that could have been the second one. You know what I mean?
100%. It's kind of a weird criticism to have, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, because it reminds me so much of like how I like in newer superhero stuff, how they'll be like, the new Batman movie. He's been Batman for 10 years. You don't have to, we already know. You know what the fuck, how he got here, you know? Like, you're just walking into like the Robert Pattinson one. Like, he's been doing this for a while. Like, and I like that. They don't feel the need to walk your hand to like tell you how he got here. And this one, it kind of seemed like that's what they were trying to do. Be like, okay, so Jurassic World's already existed for a while. So at this point, people are sick of it. We're like, well, we're not. We haven't seen it yet. We've never seen this place exist yet. Like, the thing, we've seen Batman become Batman 17 times. We never saw Jurassic Park get to work. And this movie starts like that. You're right. It would have been a lot more interesting to just be like, how do people feel about getting to see these things? We didn't know how the world feels about this, or the fact that this park's opened at all. That would be a much more interesting storyline to be like, have anybody there be like, this seems fucked up, other than it just being a throwaway line once, you know?
Yeah, I agree. And then they're already like have them trained. They're already trained. Like you could have said that whole process would have been dope.
Like, yeah, exactly. What a weird choice. Like I said, I get that they're like, look, okay, we're going back to Jurassic Park. No one wants to see. I get the thought process, but they were wrong this time. You know, it's just outright wrong. Of course, I want to see that. Like, that's the one thing I would want to see. I didn't really want. You're right. The Indominus Rex thing's goofy as fuck. Like, dude, dinosaurs aren't real. You can still scare me with a T-Rex. I'm not jaded by it yet. You know?
Yeah, that didn't need to be the knight in shining armor either.
Yeah, that was funny. According to the director, that's the same T-Rex from the first movie.
That's kind of cool.
I guess, yeah. Like, kind of, yeah, I guess. Could have been any T-Rex, I suppose, and it ended up being the same one. Like, it makes you wonder how long they lived for. I would have assumed that would have died in the wild by now.
Yeah, I think they would have
30 years, you know? Yeah, I think 25 years maybe, I guess. Yeah, it still seems a pretty long time.
Especially for that big of an animal. Doubt it.
Yeah. Well, speaking of big, giant things, this movie had the biggest global opening of all time, as well as domestic and IMAX. So just a huge opening. We, just spoil this ahead a little bit. Also this year, Star Wars The Force Awakens came out. And so that's what I was kind of shocked by. I sort of assumed that people would have been more excited to get back into Star Wars than Jurassic Park. But, I mean, this was the biggest opening globally, too. So everybody in the world was excited about this.
Yeah. I was excited for it. Me and my mom and my grandma went to go watch it.
Pretty crazy to think that, we went back to Jurassic Park and the world of Star Wars the same year.
Yeah.
Makes them both feel a lot less special. It's like, oh yeah, that's what we do now. We just go back to old franchises. It's not like, oh my God, finally.
Yeah. Well, and they had already done that with Star Wars once before.
That's true, yeah.
So that kind of made it less exciting for everyone to go see. But Jurassic Park was still the first revamp.
Yeah, the last time we really got to get back into Star Wars, it was bad. I had a bad experience. It's like when The Force Awakens came out, I was one of the few people that was like, I'm not expecting this to be good. The majority of Star Wars movies at this point are bad. Like half of them are bad movies. The other half are good. So, and then everything else they've ever done outside of the movies is pretty bad, except for video games and stuff. But like their TV specials and like at that point,
the cartoons were good. I like
yeah, those had probably come out at this point.
Yeah,
Clone Wars and stuff. But I mean, like the old cartoons, the old Ewoks stuff and things like that. Like those were not very good. I liked them when I was a kid. We used to have them on VHS, but so like I said, I was probably more excited to get into the world of Jurassic Park at the time, is what I'm trying to say. The first Jurassic Park was one of my favorite movies growing up. I love Star Wars too, but I think as an adult, I liked Jurassic Park more, probably. They had a better track record. They only had 3 movies, and only one of them was kind of not good. The second one's got some shaky stuff in there too. The gymnastic stuff I could do without, but and this one, I always got my little casting things. There aren't a ton for this movie, just mostly about Owen, played by Chris Pratt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Some of the other people, because at this point still he's just done Guardians of the Galaxy and is kind of trying to cement himself as an action star. Weirdly, going from being a TV comedy guy to being an action star.
Yeah, being like the fat goofy guy too.
Yeah, very weird career, but it worked a lot more in Guardians. I think. I don't think he was great in this one. I think that it would have worked better for him to be like an actual kind of more tough, cool guy than he was. I think the sort of goofball sort of thing. Like he seems like he's trying to be cool in this one too hard. So the first 2 on this list of other actors they were considering will show you kind of what the different. I guess they kind of split the difference here. They were thinking of either going with like someone like Armie Hammer or Henry Cavill. Those were some of their first choices. So big, strong, tough guys. Then after that, this is where it gets interesting. Jason Sudeikis.
What?
John Krasinski from The Office.
Well, he started to do the same thing.
Yeah, a little. Yeah, you're right. Maybe I don't know if it was at this point though. But yeah, you're right. That is a little interesting. And Glenn Howerton, who plays Dennis on It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, were all considered for this role. That would have been weird.
I'm glad they didn't pick him.
So much for it to be him.
It's such.
You know why they listen to me? It's the implication. He also had Josh Brolin and Jason Statham were in contention as well. I could see it being Statham. I think he would have been good in it.
Yeah.
He's probably the one who makes the most sense out of that list, I think. He's just too old, I think, at this point.
You got to sit down, Blue. You don't want this here. I'm just a simple dog trainer.
I can't remember any of Owen's lines in this movie. Come here, girl. You're my girl, Blue. You're my boy. You're my boy, Blue. Jimmy Buffett. This is pretty famous bit of trivia here, but in case you haven't heard it before, at one point when all the pterodactyls are flying around, Jimmy Buffett, you can see him running away with a couple margaritas in his hands.
Oh yeah,
from Margaritaville. Yeah, it's kind of funny.
That's awesome.
That's pretty funny. That's a really weird little cameo to make.
I did notice it when I watched it this time. I was like, hey. Yeah.
Speaking of Margaritaville, the idea to have all that product placement in this movie was actually the director and the writers had the idea to fill it with product placement and use it satirically. I don't know that it comes across as satirical. It kind of feels like they got paid by all these people after the fact, you know?
Yeah,
it's not,
right.
Like, I get that it's like, ooh, corporate greed, that's bad. But they don't ever actually say anything about it. It's just the fact that there are lots of sponsors and this happens to be going bad.
I think if it was like just Margaritaville, that would have been like, I don't know, campy enough to have been like, that's funny.
They should have done that. Yeah, they should have done like a lot. They should have leaned into it, you know? They should have been like, welcome to the Jimmy Buffett Margaritaville orbs or whatever, like the things that they're like rolling around in, have everything be branded by Jimmy Buffett.
Like Wayne's World.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's what they made it seem like that's what they were trying to do. And I was like, I don't know. I think you guys kind of getting to have your cake and eat it here a little bit.
Yeah.
That they're getting to be like, yeah, we were saying something by doing that. And you got to have a bunch of people pay for your movie. Although it's like, do you think Jurassic Park was really hurting for sponsors? Probably not. So I guess you could say it was satirical. As far as this movie goes, it's all right. I didn't love it. I don't like the relationship between the two kids. I think anytime it's hard writing teens into stuff because like it seems like writers just go like, "Hey, isn't this kid kind of shitty?" It's like I don't want to watch a movie about a kid who sucks.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, they have some redeeming thing, but it's like it's not like, oh, this kid's an alcoholic or he like, he walked out on his wife. Like there's not some redeeming thing that you can do like that. So it just has to be like he's kind of an asshole to his brother. And you're like, ew, I don't like him.
Yeah, he's just like staring at girls the whole time.
Yeah, he's just a little shitty teenager. So
yeah,
I didn't love that he was the main focus for so much of the movie. The Jimmy Fallon stuff was kind of funny. I forgot about that being in it.
Oh
like,
yeah,
it's like playing off the Universal Studios tour. That like they had him come out and do those same movies in that. Oh, what I wanted to mention earlier that I almost forgot was Eric Edelstein, the star of We Bare Bears. He's in this movie as well. He plays the security guard who like gets eaten by the Indominus Rex early on. He's like the first victim. Like he's a kind of chunky guy, like when they're running out.
Yeah,
he's like, oh no!
I didn't recognize him.
Yeah, I know. He's been in like Workaholics. He's like an actor who just kind of randomly pops up, and for some reason, I always recognize him. I'm like, hey, it's that guy from Jurassic World. And then randomly, he's the other bear. It's Bobby Moynihan, Demetri Martin, two like world famous comedians, and then Eric Edelstein randomly is the third bear. Great year for Eric Edelstein.
Just gets all these random little things. That's cool. Good for him.
Yeah. He must be like a comedian, I would guess, then in real life or something. He probably does stand up or something.
Some kind, or at least like in the writing process of stuff. He's doing stuff.
Yeah, I imagine he has to have something because I was going to say before, there's like a handful of weird comedy connections this movie has. Like they cast a lot of comedy people in roles that aren't necessarily funny, and I don't know, that was weird a little bit. Like Judy Greer being the sister, I thought that was strange. Like why is she's sort of underutilized in this movie?
Yeah,
like barely in it, and she's not funny in it. And I was just like, what a weird casting choice. And then the two people like in the control room, you have Lauren Lapkus, and then totally spacing on the dude's name now. He's from The New Girl.
Yeah, I can't. Jake
Johnson. Yeah. So Lauren Lapkus and Jake Johnson are just like these two people in the control room, and they like don't even really have that much comedy banter between each other or anything like that. They're just sort of in there for you to be like, look, they seem funny, but they don't really get to say anything funny.
Yeah, there's that one part where he gets all of his dinosaurs knocked off, and he's like, oh.
Yeah,
it's like the only part that's like kind of funny.
That's why we hired a comedian, so he could go, oh. The part where she says, oh, I have a boyfriend. That was kind of funny.
Oh, yeah.
I guess that was improv by her. I don't know if they were actually supposed to kiss or if he improv'd the kiss or what, but like that. So like really the only funny scene they had was improv. It wasn't even something that was written for them. So weird connect like people to cast in this. I kept noticing people like that. Like, strange. I wonder why.
Yeah. BD Wong, I don't understand his role in this movie. Like he is a part of it. He's not a part of it. Is he the bad guy? Or if he like, I guess I don't understand his role in this. He's the lead scientist and that's it.
Yeah.
But he also seems to be the bad guy. But then the other guy is the bad guy too. I don't.
Right. Yeah. Vincent D'Onofrio is like kind of becomes the bad guy halfway through. Like they didn't know what they wanted. Like, is the military the bad guy or is the science the bad guy? And I mean, I guess it's sort of like, oh well, science probably shouldn't have done this to get us here, but now it's being taken over by the military and being made worse, I guess. But it did seem like they were kind of leaning on him to be a bad guy in the early part, and then just sort of abandoned him halfway through.
Yeah, and then he just kind of escapes with this stuff. Maybe if we watch the other movies, that we'll know more.
Yeah, I forgot. I think he does. I think he's the reason why it continues on the way it does. I've seen the sequels, but I think I've seen them each once, so I don't really remember them.
I haven't seen the sequels. Should have let us write the new script.
Yeah, totally. I didn't see the newest one. I got to see that one too, I guess, because
I got to see the other ones because if they kind of like coincide with this, I don't know. Maybe it gets. I doubt it, but maybe it gets better throughout the series. I don't know.
In terms of Jurassic World Prime, Jurassic Park 4, how many? Let's see. What's a good thing out of this one?
Out of the John Hammond statues.
Okay, that was I think it was funny too to like make it like we're honoring John Hammond. Like isn't he kind of a bad guy. Weird
Yeah, I
thing
guess
to
not.
choose
I
to
don't know.
do.
They're like, he's the reason that any of this even happened. And they're like, is that a good thing?
Yeah, like, okay, yes. You just honor the science. I don't think he even was like,
Yeah.
he wasn't even that like main scientist, you know? He just had the idea.
Yeah,
To
he
honor
was
the person who
one that
came up
got
with this shit.
got the money for it.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, so out of 2015 John Hammond statues, I got to give this one, I give it 1100, I guess.
I was going to say 1150.
Yeah, I mean, I don't.
1150 John Hammond statues.
Yeah, I think that it seems like they spared some expense when it came to this one. That's all I'll say about that. So they don't get the full John Hammond. All right, but the rest of the movies from this year, just to let y'all know, what were other people seeing at the theaters? If you weren't seeing the number one film, I mentioned you could have been seeing actually a couple of these that sort of shocked me. These franchises that were big, like Jurassic Park. Of course, we've talked about Star Wars: The Force Awakens, but you also had Avengers: Age of Ultron, which is kind of one of the more disliked of the Avengers movies, I think.
Yeah,
I like that one. I think it's okay. They're all basically the same to me.
They're all basically the same.
Yeah, I don't really like any of them more than the others. Ant-Man came out this year as well, and the Fantastic Four, like I tried it again. They try every fucking 10 years of that movie, and they can never make it work.
I didn't watch that one. I wanted to. I liked Ant-Man when it came out. I liked it.
I didn't see it for like a couple of years because at that point I was kind of burned out on Marvel, and everyone told me, "No, this one's actually pretty good. You should check it out." And it's like I like Paul Rudd, and I like what's his face, Michael Pena. He's really funny in that one. Actually, I think that's kind of where his career took off. Really, was Ant-Man. He's like the funny sidekick in that one.
Yeah.
Also, you had Furious 7 in the Fast and Furious franchise. You had Mission Impossible: Rogue Nation, and you had Spectre. That all debuted.
Yeah.
You know, Spectre in the James Bond franchise.
Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 2. So I think this was
that's the end of it.
End of it, but they did it like Harry Potter style where they split it into two movies.
Yeah, tons of franchises this year. Also coming from a comic book, but not a regular book, but comic book adaptation, Kingsman: The Secret Service, and then the adaptation of the old TV show, The Man from U.N.C.L.E. Both came out this year also. So, shit ton of franchises.
Yeah, actually, going into kids ones, Minions comes out.
Right.
So that's part of the Despicable Me franchise.
And they also did Cinderella and Pan, like the live action ones of those.
I didn't see either of those. Did you?
Megan and I started to watch Pan one time. We turned it off pretty quick because it's like a jukebox musical.
Oh no.
And like it's so bad early on. Like there's a part where he comes out, like Captain Hook comes out onto the ship, and everybody starts like hammering out a beat on the ship's deck. And I can't remember if it's like Thunderstruck or something like that. And like they're all like thunder, or something like that. Or it's Nirvana. It's some song that was just like, whoa, this is jarring. I didn't like it. We were like, ew, turn it off.
I didn't know Hugh Jackman was in this.
Yeah, he plays Captain Hook. It's so bad all around. He looks so weird in it. It's a very, very strange movie. I kind of want to rewatch it now just out of morbidity's sake, you know? Like out of curiosity.
I'm curious. I want to watch it too, though.
Pixar came out with 2 movies this year, which is kind of unique for them. Inside Out, huge movie. Everyone saw Inside Out. Man,
Did you see it?
Yeah, I cried when Bing Bong vanished.
Yeah, that was a sad part. It was a good movie. I watched that.
And Pixar's other movie from this year, a lot less remembered, The Good Dinosaur. Did you see that one?
I've seen it before.
It's okay. It was decent.
Yeah, it's good. He's a good dinosaur.
It's not a great dinosaur.
It's no Jurassic World, but
it's true. Yeah, this is a good one. Actually, yeah, this is a good one. Jurassic World's the bad dinosaur. Goosebumps and Peanuts also came out with movies this year, more franchise stuff.
I try to watch Peanuts, but that's like an Apple TV exclusive, I guess. We've tried to watch the other Peanuts stuff. Yeah, we can't watch it. That
new movie's really good. I watched it not too long ago. I really liked it. It's very cute. And the animation style is awesome. It looks so cool. There's some more franchise shit, I guess, is what we're on the topic. Jupiter Ascending talk about bad movies. That might be the worst movie I've ever seen in theaters. I could not believe how bad it was when I watched it. Tomorrowland, based on the Disneyland section of the park, and 50 Shades of Grey all came out this year. Those three were all pretty universally panned, I think, when they came out. Good movies that came out this year. Vice, didn't see it. Really wasn't interested in it, but it was critically acclaimed about Dick Cheney.
Oh, yeah. I heard it was good, but I never watched it either.
Yeah, I really didn't want to. The Martian, I also never saw. Bridge of Spies, didn't see.
The Martian is a good movie. I watched that. I think I watched it in theaters, actually.
I thought it looked too similar to Interstellar. I was like, wait, another one where he's like a guy stuck on a planet? Like
Yeah, but it's way,
right now?
way different.
I just didn't feel like watching another Matt Damon stuck on a planet. I was like, I know it's not the same thing, but I just watched this. I'll wait.
Yeah.
I should tap back in now. Spotlight, The Big Short, I also never saw. The ones I did see from this year, though, are Sicario. That's pretty good.
Never seen it.
Drug cartel movie. That one's pretty sick.
Oh, I have seen that movie before. Yeah.
I just rewatched Straight Outta Compton. I hadn't seen that since it was in theaters.
I
the other day.
tried to watch it. I didn't get time.
It starts out pretty strong, and then it just is like, oh god, wrap up this fucking movie at a certain point. It's too long and all that. But that's what I'm wearing today. I got my Death Row Records shirt on.
Yeah.
Movies about, Death Row gets formed over the course of the movie, so threw on a Death Row shirt. And Room is another one from this year that I really loved. That was like one of the best movies. I didn't see it for many years. I watched it during my year of watching a movie every day. And it's one of my like top 5 favorite movies from that year, where I watched 430 movies that year. This Room was in the top 5 for sure.
Damn.
One of the few times I've cried in a movie, and I could not stop crying. It was so crazy. Like I was really fighting it for like a long time. And then like at one point I'm just sitting there like stone faced and tears just start rolling out of my eyes. I was like, fuck, I can't help it. They're just coming. I can't stop it. And I looked over at Megan and she's just like completely covered in tears. I was like, this is not just me. And then like I'd be watching it and something happy would happen. And I'd be like, oh my God, I'm so touched. And then just waterworks. Like I didn't have any control over it. They would just start going. And
I don't know if I want to watch this movie now.
I just had tissues with me the whole time and I was just dabbing and it was wild. I've never experienced that in a movie before or since. I really don't get emotionally connected to movies, and that one floored me. Also this year you have one of the best movies ever made, Fury Road.
Oh yeah, that one's great. Mm-hmm.
Fantastic movie. And then 2 really good westerns, The Revenant and The Hateful Eight. That was cool. There were 2 great westerns came out this year.
Yeah.
And boxing movies, Creed and Southpaw both came out this year. Creed was really good. I never saw Southpaw.
I never saw Southpaw. I've watched Creed since we started doing this, because we talked about that before. It's good. Yeah, the first one's really good. Then watching a lot of like other movies since we've been doing this podcast.
Things that have like come up and you're like, I might as well check that out.
Yeah.
It's hard to sometimes break off of the year that you're doing, but it has made me go like, I got to check out some other stuff.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
A couple comedies real quick. There's not a huge year for comedies. But you had The Wedding Ringer. They all kind of are similar feeling. The Wedding Ringer and Get Hard, obviously both star Kevin Hart, so that's why those feel similar. But you also had Hot Pursuit and Spy and Trainwreck. And those all kind of seem similar. Daddy's Home and Vacation. Like there's just a weird sort of feel to the comedy from this time frame. Not my favorite movies, but they're okay. Like Daddy's Home is funny, but it's not one that I really love going back to,
I've never seen that one. Everyone keeps telling me to watch it. I've never watched it.
It's better than you would think. And I do watch the Christmas one every year. And then horror movies. It Follows. That's a really good horror movie if you haven't seen it. And Bone Tomahawk. Now that movie's fucking sick as hell. Speaking of westerns, I actually had 3 good westerns. There's one that happens to be
crazy.
gnarly.
Yeah, that one's crazy.
I love that movie. I mean, that is one of the gnarlier. Like that one kill in particular, that's like pretty up there in terms of movies.
If you go to watch that movie.
Damn, yeah, that thing. I remember I think we watched it when we were living in the condo, and it was like.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I remember people being like, "No!" It's a whole group of people watching that. And then a couple movies that weren't really horror, but they were adjacent. The Lazarus Effect, Ex Machina. Those were kind of like sci-fi, thrillery kind of movies.
Ex Machina is good.
Haven't seen either of those.
Yeah.
No, actually, I did see Lazarus Effect. It wasn't great.
I don't think I've seen that one.
And then Crimson Peak, I've never seen. Wanted to see that. And then finally, I get to, I always end off on Christmas, but this year I get to stay in the horror vein because the only good Christmas movie this year was Krampus. Have you seen that?
No, I haven't.
It's pretty decent. Yeah, I mean it's fun. It's not really particularly scary, but it's kind of like on the cusp enough that like you could probably watch it with a family because it's not incredibly scary. It's mostly like the language, I think, that kind of makes it like I wish they hadn't cursed so much. It'd be easier to show like teens and stuff like. I mean, teens can watch it, but like preteens maybe could get away with Krampus if it wasn't for the language, I think.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Did you see The Revenant?
Yes, that's actually the first movie that my wife and I ever saw together.
Oh, that's cool.
And then like for weeks afterwards, we'd be like, "It was you the whole time. You was the Revenant. You was hiding it behind right underneath my nose the whole time. What? It was you. You was Revenant." We didn't know what the Revenant was. Which one of y'all is the Revenant in here? Is it you? Yeah, it's a good one though. I mean, we talked about that before. How I was like, I like the movie. I do think it's good. I think that Leonardo DiCaprio was like really just swinging for Oscar fences that time. He's just gritting his teeth and screaming that whole movie.
Yeah,
but it's pretty decent. Did you ever see While We're Young? That's funny. Megan and I reference that movie pretty constantly because it's with Ben Stiller and then Adam Driver. I can't remember who their like spouses are in the movie, but Ben Stiller is he and his wife are a couple that are in their middle ages, whatever. And then they meet a younger couple. Adam Driver is like the guy and then they start hanging out with each other and like they basically show them how to live life more fun. And there's one part in it though. It's not a particularly good movie. And I don't remember anything about it except for one scene where they're talking about something and they're trying to remember like, oh, didn't this like wasn't that guy in this movie or something like that, And then they're all trying to remember. And then Ben Stiller's like, I'll just Google it. And he pulls out his phone and then Adam Driver goes, no, wait, let's just not know. And he goes, oh, okay, yeah. And it's like this cool thing that like, oh, we'll just not know. Like, we don't have to Google everything, dude. And so Megan and I say that. We reference this movie, like once every couple of weeks. We'll go, wait, let's just not know. I don't remember a single other second of this film, though. All right. Actually, I was surprised. There were more movies from this year that I liked than I would have thought. And music, too. Actually, I was kind of pleasantly surprised across the board, to be honest. I think when you think of nowadays, we don't really come out with a bunch of stuff I find to be artistically valuable too often in our society in 2026. So I figured 11 years ago was more of the same. And we were on the path to get here. I mean, you heard how many franchises we were in the middle of and shit, but it's still, there was some gems throughout.
Yeah, for sure. Well, speaking of gems, what is one of the gems that you were going to keep?
This week, I just got to go with, I said, just one of my favorite movies. It's hard, actually. I was tempted to say Room just because it had such an impact on me the time I watched it, but I've seen Fury Road 100 times. I definitely got to save that. Fantastic film.
I think I'm going to say Fallout 4. It was a great game, and I love the Fallout series. I don't want to take it away.
That was a very huge point in the series for sure. So I think also we don't save enough games.
It's true. We have like 3.
Yeah.
The Simpsons, something else, and now this.
Yeah, fuck. I can't remember what the other one was. All right. Well, actually, I'm so shocked. I guess it was fun. It was more fun than I thought it was going to be having visited 2015. And I'm surprised that now when I think back at this year, I am going to be thinking to myself that we wish we were then.